Good morning. It is Thursday, February 20th. Did you know, Kyle, that it has snowed every single day in Syracuse in February?
I'm so sorry.
We know. We all know that.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who
Today I was driving in and I was like, I just would want a clear trip in that takes normal time, driving with normal people.
Unbelievable. That's just oppressive. This is our second day in the row with snow on the ground, so we're really feeling the struggles down here in Nashville.
I know.
Same.
But
actually,
I feel like in the last several years, like you've gotten snow every year.
It is. It's been a lot, yeah. And you know what's even crazier? It was. Well, I don't know what it is now, but when I woke up this morning, it was 9 degrees in Syracuse and 10 degrees in Nashville.
Oh,
so we don't do that down here.
Kindred spirits.
We don't do 10.
Everybody's used to it.
Feels like zero. What is this?
I know. And there's so many people. There's so many people in the country that have no idea what we're talking about. They're like, "What do you mean? It's 74."
We were on the phone. I was on the phone with someone they were in like Santa Barbara, and they were like, it's getting real tough out here. It's windy and 73.
It makes me feel so good to know. Hey, like, holla at your boys. We'll come visit you. We'll come do a little on the site. A little man on the street in 70-degree weather.
Yeah, like if you're a San Diego dealer and you just need someone to come say hi, like let us know. We'll be right there.
Oh, so good. So good. What are we talking about today? What other stuff
are we talking about? We're talking about the fact that the webinar yesterday with Matt Murray was legit, and you should check it out. You can still go to our website, asodu.com, scroll down and go check that out, register for it. The data that they are diving into is insane. And then actually this morning, they've got a newsletter called The Rev, and they did a comparison between Asbury and Herb Chambers that was really, really savvy and interesting.
They did.
Just on like what the differences are, what one may gain from the other, just based on public reputation alone.
Yeah, I mean they went into some of that data on the webinar. If you want to see it, again, asodu.com. It's right there toward the top of the page. You can just register, get the webinar. Also, big deal. ASOTUCON tickets are live. Schedule is being filled out. People are buying tickets. People are booking hotel rooms, which, by the way, if you want to be in the Vent hotel room, make your decision sooner than later, because we know how it goes in automotive. If it's not this month, it doesn't exist. If it's not next month, it really doesn't exist. And if, God forbid, it's like 80 days away, which it is, it might as well be 2030.
It might as well be.
Don't get in that mindset. Go to ASOTUCON.com, get your tickets and your hotels quick so you can be in with us. Look, on the screen right now, we have the ASOTUCON scarf.
Whoa.
This is something we've done every year since ASOTUCON. It's a big deal. You and I live in these things during the event. We don't take them off. Here's the deal. Every year, someone sponsors a scarf, and they get prime placement on it. You can see on the screen, like the one side says ASOTUCON, the other side of the scarf has the sponsor name. And you not only get to be on the scarf and in pretty much every picture that Kyle and I are in, period, but all the attendees wear them. Also, you get a bunch of other stuff if you want to be the scarf sponsor. So we have a few people that are interested. If you're interested, you want to be on the running, just reach out. Who are you reaching out to? What's the best way to say it on the show without blowing up the spot? Anne-Marie on our team. Or you could just send an email to crew@asotu.com.
We're checking that every day.
Or you could go to ASOTUCON.com and say, I'm interested in sponsoring the event. A lot of the sponsorships are gone, but I think like 4 people reached out yesterday, 4 different companies, and we're like, hey, I know it's probably too late. It's not too late. The reality is we have a lot of stuff.
I had two dealers reach out to me on LinkedIn just saying, hey, look, we're coming and we're bringing our people. We've had just so much energy toward this. It's like, obviously we're promoting our own event, but if I was not a part of this event, I would 100% just put it on my calendar because it's just good. Like, I learned stuff and we're putting the thing together,
One of the hardest parts of ASOTUCON for you and I is the fact that we can't see so much of what goes on. But on the flip side, you know us. We hit record in every room, all the time. We have the 3 breakouts. We have the main stage. We have the podcast stage. So it's all there. It's an archive. You can go back and watch some previous ones. If you just go to our YouTube page, ASOTube, ASOTU.be, go to scroll down. There's so much content on there. You'll be surprised, actually. If you've never gone there, you'll be like, oh, wow, these guys, how do they do it? That's what we ask ourselves. But there's a lot of ASOTUCON panels on there. So you can get a little taste of just like one little snippet of what a SodaCon content is like. And it's just the place to be. So we hope you're there. All right, let's talk about some news.
Let's do it.
All right. Electric truck startup Nikola, once a Wall Street darling, valued higher than Ford. I can't believe they had a higher valuation than Ford. They have now filed for bankruptcy, joining other EV makers like Fisker, Lordstown Motors, Electric Last Mile Solutions. Basically, Nikola was founded in 2015 as a hydrogen-fueled revolution for trucking, securing billions in investments from companies like GM, Bosch, other companies. In 2020, short seller Hindenburg Research accused Nikola of faking its truck technology, revealing a promo video showing a truck rolling downhill with no powertrain in it at all. Founder Trevor Milton resigned amidst fraud allegations, was later convicted in 2022, receiving a 4-year prison sentence.
Goodness.
I know, this is a drama right here. Despite shifting focus to hydrogen fuel cells, Nikola produced only 235 vehicles amidst supply chain issues, rising costs, and an underdeveloped hydrogen fueling network. CEO Steve Gursky blamed economic conditions, stating, quote, "Our very best efforts have not been enough to overcome these significant challenges."
Look, over the last 100 years, I don't care who you are, it is hard to bring a new entrant into the automotive sector. 2, it's increasingly hard to do that in the midst of
breaking the law.
All of these shortages. 3, you're breaking the law, yo.
Always complicates things.
4, this still is like when I look at these legacy OEMs attempting to do things like subscriptions or segment their business units, it's still an attractive proposition to go, hey, look, I can spin up a new thing, get a valuation and investment at a whole different level. And so we're still going to, I think, see some of these new entrants. We're going to see challenger brands coming into the market over the next 3 to 5 years. And we're probably going to see some go down and we're going to see some succeed. So this isn't the last one, but look, when you're rolling a car down a hill just to say that you like, quote unquote, have a car, we got problems, fam.
It's more than supply chain issues. We couldn't get a powertrain. That was our issue. I know. So another one bites the dust. However, there's probably going to be some tech that gets absorbed by some other companies that invested in it. And hopefully it makes its way into the industry in a way that we can actually use it. I still love hydrogen. I really do. I mean, we haven't been hearing a lot about it lately. And the whole EV conversation is actually, toned down a little bit since the new administration took office. Yep. I think it's going to fire back up. I think, can you believe, I was thinking about this yesterday. The Trump administration has only been in office for like 1 month today.
That's really wild.
It feels like 6 months. And if you didn't vote for him, it probably feels like 17 years at this point. But I think that once they get through this like initial jostling and shuffling, I think the focus on charging infrastructure and a variety of
it's going to come back.
It's going to come back.
It's still, there's still so much in the market. I was looking at the reports of like, you got Tesla still selling more cars year to date than like a Mazda, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going away.
Yeah, not at all. And I was talking to a dealer yesterday who does a lot in the wholesale market, and they were just saying EVs at the auctions are dead.
Wow.
Like they said they're dead. It's scary. They were basically saying, which means if you're a person like me who has been thinking about getting an EV for a really long time,
get a used EV.
Now is the best time ever to get a used EV. I don't think.
Call Alex Lawrence, call John Foley. They got you hook up.
I'm like this close to pulling the trigger. I'm so close. And we'll reveal more of what it might be. I'll tell you after the show, but we're not going to tell everybody else until we do it.
I like it.
Speaking of telling everybody else, this is such a cool story.
We have to tell you about this.
This was featured in today's email. If you don't know, we do have an email every day at soda.com. When quarterback Josh Allen gave his MVP acceptance speech last week, he made sure to shout out someone who rarely gets the spotlight. Roderick Morrow, a.k.a. Slick Rick, who is a beloved mailroom employee at One Bills Drive, which is the Buffalo Bills headquarters spot. After his speech, Buffalo fans quickly fell in love with Slick Rick. After Josh Allen's speech, quickly fell in love with Slick Rick. One detail caught everyone's attention. Despite working for the Bills for over a decade, Rick had been taking the bus to work every day. So West Herr Automotive Group, our friends there, they just started to do what they do. They knew they couldn't stand by on the sidelines. On Valentine's Day, they surprised Slick Rick with a Chevy Traverse, his very own set of wheels after years of relying on public transportation. He says, Rick said, quote, "It feels like I'm living the dream, and I am." Soaking in all the love from the Buffalo community. From this morning's email, this is what our writing team and Chris Reeves wrote. "Props to West Herr for reminding us what community is all about. Their generosity proves that making a difference doesn't always mean grand gestures. Sometimes it's about noticing the everyday heroes and giving them the recognition they deserve."
Well, there's a few things happening here. The savvy of West Herr to be paying attention, right?
Yep.
Like that's one. Obviously, they do a lot of stuff with the Bills. They do stuff with Josh Allen. So there's like a way to stay savvy and be in the know of what's going on. Two, like if you haven't watched their More Than Cars episode, this is not like a one-time flash in the pan. Maybe we'll try this and see if it works type thing. There's a repeated nature of just doing things like this over and over to where when a new one comes up, they have a rhythm, they have a pace of the whole organization understanding what it is like to be involved in the community at this level. And so like those two things combined just make the speed of making this happen so easy and natural. And it might look to a lot of people, it might look to consumers to be like, oh, they just
flashy,
did this to get on board. But like, go watch episode 3, More Than Cars, on Amazon Prime, and find out what they've been doing in the community for years and years and years.
They actually ran the same playbook, and you can actually watch it on Tubi. So Amazon Prime, you could support the auto industry and spend $1.99 to watch it on Prime, or you could go to Tubi and watch it ad supported. Episode 3 at West Herr, they literally did a very similar thing for one of their employees who they realized he had been working in the service department. He was actually living in like a rescue mission type scenario, and they found out about it. They were like, that's not okay. And then, we put it at the end of the show, but they ended up getting him his own apartment. So, I mean, it's
amazing.
It's starting to seem like a trend, right? It's just how they roll. It's not just for the flash. It's actually for the people. It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Speaking of pretty amazing.
Segue.
Time.
Depends on who you ask.
Fast food prices are obviously continuing to skyrocket across the U.S., but some savvy customers have found a way to save money. They're ordering kids' meals. The trend has surged in popularity, with many adults opting for smaller portions at lower prices, sometimes even enjoying the bonus of a toy. Data from Circana shows a 28% increase in adults ordering kids' meals in 2024 compared to 2019. Fast food prices here have surged by anywhere between 39 and 100% over the past decade, way outpacing inflation, which is only 31%.
Only 31%.
Leaders in the growth: McDonald's, Popeyes, Taco Bell. This is the fun part. Social media influencers are getting into the game. A kids meal connoisseur, self-proclaimed Ashley Garrett, has fueled the trend by reviewing and rating the kids' meals, their prices, what you get with them. Restaurant investor Dan Rose suggests that the issue isn't adults ordering kids' meals, but rather if people are ordering off your kids' menu, you have other issues.
I love that quote.
What a great one.
I think that the kids' meal thing, my teenagers order off the kids' menu all the time, right? Not necessarily. We don't do a lot of fast food, but like when we're at, I don't know, Cheesecake Factory or a restaurant,
it's like up to 11, and it's like still adult size.
They never
portions,
ask.
right?
They never ask. Right. But here's the thing. I think this is just an indicative of people's mindset toward affordability. There is no auto industry equivalent of this, right?
No.
Right? Like the adults don't get the option to come in and order the scooter. You know what I mean? And so I think this is just another element of what people are doing to try to save money and try to cut back. However, there is, I think, a play here, as always, for marketing, brand, and culture. You and I always talk about how do you not try to push back against the waters of the internet and culture, but instead, how do you find a way to incorporate this in some of your marketing and have a little bit of fun with it? Because I think a GM eating a Happy Meal is pretty funny.
That would be amazing. Drive to McDonald's,
Brian
order
Ortega,
the Happy Meal.
Nathaniel Grecklin.
Please do it.
Get
right
on
now.
it.
Get on that.
Oh, I think we've talked enough. Listen, we hope you have an amazing day today. We hope you sign up for AsotaCon. We hope you go to asotu.com and check out the webinar from yesterday. The bottom line is this: we're trying to serve you so you can serve everyone else.